There was a cracking question from over there, and I can't wait to answer it for you because you've heard a lot about research and clinical trials happening right now in CMT. And my role for the last session of this conference is to share how you can join in, what you can do to get involved in clinical trials that are happening right now, and how you can become part of CMTA's strategy to accelerate research. Because these clinical trials and our research cannot happen without you. And I'm going to talk about our Patients as Partners in Research platform and how you can participate in the critical work of developing treatments for CMT. It's because your voice and your participation shapes the future of CMT research, and we can't wait to hear from you and give you the chance to get involved. So, what is Patients as Partners in Research? It's a powerful tool with global impact, and it's the CMTA's platform to learn about your CMT and connect you with CMT research opportunities like the clinical trials you've just heard about. I'm going to provide you with an overview of the platform and its impact so far on CMT research and treatment development. And I'm going to highlight some of the current opportunities to get involved in CMT research, and that will be the place where we put all future opportunities that come along. And finally, I'm going to show you how you can become a patient partner in research today. So the Patients as Partners in Research platform was launched by the CMTA in 2018, and it's an essential part of our STAR program. It has since grown to become the largest global CMT patient-reported dataset, and it's a powerful tool to understand CMT. What the platform does is it accelerates CMT research and the development of new treatments through facilitated patient involvement. It's only possible because of you. The more of you who complete a profile, the more powerful the platform becomes. So I'd like you to raise your hand if you have already created a Patients as Partners in Research profile. Thanks, Dustin. So nice and high in the air. So it's so great to see so many of you have already created a profile. So thank you. Thank you so much. Those who raised their hands have helped us grow Patients as Partners in Research to over 8,500 profiles. That's 2,000 more than this time I spoke at the summit last year. What we have in Patients as Partners in Research is 49 different subtypes represented. So we've heard how many subtypes there are in CMT. 49 different subtypes have been represented there. And that's over 36 studies we've then been able to support. This is just a little snapshot of the global reach of Patients as Partners in Research. More and more of you join this platform every week from all over the world. And this is important because CMT research and treatment development, that effort is global. Clinical trial sites are spread across North America, Europe, and Asia. And whilst you all can't see me sitting at my little desk back home in England, where I live, please know that every single time one of you joins that platform, I do a little happy dance. So what types of studies do we share with you via Patients as Partners in Research? They range from simple surveys to learn about your CMT, so we understand more about what age symptoms start, what age you received your diagnosis, and then I can analyse how that varies between the different CMT subtypes. And you share this information with us just by building your profile, which is a set of around 20 questions, and it takes just a few minutes to complete those questions. What we do is we anonymize this data and we analyze it, and then we share it at big international conferences through scientific abstracts and scientific posters to inform the global research community. We also work with our STAR Alliance and clinical partners. So there's a lot of logos up here, but this is hospital sites, biotech companies, pharmaceutical companies, all working in the CMT space. And you can see the logos of the companies who are there currently in clinical trials. The Patients as Partners in Research platform helps these companies to ask important questions about what symptoms are most bothersome for you, and therefore which things it's most important to tackle with any future treatment. There is no point in them developing a drug that treats a symptom that nobody actually is bothered by. So that's why we ask the questions. So we help them find out how you feel as well about the types of treatments that you've heard about today. You might feel more comfortable with a pill than an injection, but some treatments can only be delivered in certain ways. So we help them ask questions about what you think about that treatment. Is it something that you would consider taking? Again, we could do that through online surveys, or it could be through online or in-person focus groups. Patients as Partners helps us to give that feedback, and it also helps to feedback on clinical trial recruitment materials. So the leaflet that Dan Brennan has on NMD Pharma's table in the next hall, we helped to design that with NMD Pharma last year through a focus group. So it makes sure that that information is understandable to patients. One of the huge powers of our platform is the support it provides with the recruitment for in-person studies. You heard Dan say there are 3 people that they need to finish the recruitment for their trial. We let everybody who's a patient partner in research know about those opportunities to give them the chance to think about if they want to get involved. Well, these studies might also be natural history studies, and they collect how CMT progresses over time. They might be somebody giving a blood sample or a skin sample to analyse for biomarkers. And we've also had patients as partners in research step up to donate blood that's been turned into stem cells that can then be used for research in many studies. But as you've heard earlier today, because we're in this pivotal era of clinical trials, with more active trials now than we've ever seen before, and more coming, the clinical trials can only happen if we have enough patients who are willing to step forward and take part in them. I know that we can do this. I know that we can fill these clinical trials because we've done it before, because there are passionate people within our community who want to step up and take part. And our research and patient community is so incredibly grateful to all of the people who've taken part in trials and surveys so far, because those trials cannot happen without us, the patients, being firmly at the centre. So if you want to find out which patients as partners in research opportunities are currently recruiting, then you can head over to the CMTA's new website, which has a dedicated page for patients as partners in research. So you can browse the whole collection. You can see them there on the right-hand side. You can browse the whole collection of currently open and some of the more recently completed opportunities. People who join patients as partners in research, and really importantly, give us your permission to email you. We can then tell you when those clinical trials, new opportunities to take part in research are posted on that website. As soon as we put them on the website, we'll send you an email and let you know. Now, these might be surveys, they might be focus groups, they might be natural history studies, or they might be phase 1, 2, or 3. I'm sorry, not phase 1, because that's not us. That's the normies. So that might be a phase 2 or a phase 3 clinical trial. But it's really important that you build that profile on the site so we know enough about your CMT to be able to tell you about opportunities that are suitable for you. We also use that to tell you about the latest research news. So I know you're interested in our research news because you've sat with me, all of you, still here, all through this morning. So we'll also share updates on projects like Jordan's project to get those wood chippers recycling those proteins. So what we have seen and what I'm able to do now is give you some summit exclusive news. So you're the first people in the world, apart from our staff, to hear this. So I've got some exclusive news. Because the profile and the platforms have continued to grow, the continued success, it's really pushed us to the edge of what our current technology was capable of. 8,500 profiles had us bursting at the seams. And what we want to do is keep on growing this platform. So with the support of Sarah Gentry, who's the CMTA's Director of Technology, we've identified a new home for our platform, which has greater capability. If you already have a profile on patients as partners in research, you'll be given the opportunity to have a look at your data. So all those people who put their hands in the air, you might have forgotten what you told us. So you'll have a chance to have a look at your data, fill in any gaps and make changes to anything that you've told us before, and also answer some new questions. Now, those new questions are a brand new survey that the CMTA is launching today at this summit to help us better understand comorbidities. I hate that word. It's very morbid, but comorbidities. So what comorbidities are the other things that you might be diagnosed with in addition to your CMT. And they might be things that we know to be more common in people with CMT, like scoliosis, which is a curvature of the spine, or hip dysplasia, which Josh mentioned earlier, which is when your hips don't quite sit in your sockets properly. But we also want to ask about some conditions that currently have no published evidence that they're more common in people with CMT. But I have my suspicions. So I'm not going to bias your survey responses by telling you what those conditions are, but there is a list of them, and we want you to have a look through them and let us know if these are things that you've been diagnosed with. Please don't worry, because I'm assuming you're all going to do this for me, yes? Yeah. Please don't worry if when you're reading through those comorbidities questions that you haven't heard of some of those conditions. That's probably a good thing, and it likely means that you've never been diagnosed with them. So you just don't tell us that you have those ones. For those of you who haven't yet built a profile on patients as partners in research, you'll be able to create a new one and answer all the original profile questions and this new comorbidity survey. Unfortunately, the route to doing these things is the same for everyone, and I'm going to show you that now. So, what you can do is join patients as partners in research, or you can resubscribe to make sure that you're getting those all-important emails about new clinical trials and studies. First of all, you go to the Patients as Partners in Research page on the CMTA website. I have put a handy QR code on that screen, or on every single table. Some of you are looking at it now. There's an A5 flyer. Craig Zelser, can you hold it up and wave it for me? Thank you, sir. It's just that flyer. There's a QR code on there for Patients as Partners in Research. So you can head there and follow a two-step process to register and check if your current profile is accurate, or you can build a new profile. Also, if you have a small child with CMT, which I do, you can also not only build a profile for yourself, but you can build a profile for that small child. And if you have a parent with CMT who's not particularly technologically literate, which I do, I can sit down with my dad and help him fill in his profile. So because CMT is multi-generational, we'd love for each person with CMT to have their own profile on the platform. So all we also need to do is for you to check the box that allows us to email you so you can be an active member of the platform. Patients as Partners in Research only works if we have your permission to contact you by email and tell you when these new studies are posted. You can then check out all the open research opportunities that are there on the CMTA website. And finally, if you find a research opportunity that you meet the criteria for, and that might be NMD Pharma's trial where they're looking for 3 more people, you can read all about it and you can decide if you want to take part. So that's the webpage that you need to visit. I have the link up there and the QR code. You can go pop on there and fill in the step 1 form today, and then we'll be in touch with you and take you through the next steps. But put simply, we need you. We need you to help shape the future of CMT research, and you are just one QR code click away from joining more than 8,500 patients as partners to help accelerate the development of treatments for CMT. If you tell us a little bit about your CMT, we can then tell you what's happening in CMT research and share opportunities to take part in trials and studies. Last year, at the Denver Summit, more than 50 people joined Patients as Partners in Research before the end of the closing remarks. And this year, Sue has set me the challenge of 100 people before the end of today. And I'd like to smash that and get every person with CMT in this room to click the link and fill in step 1. Even if you're already a member of Patients as Partners in Research, we ask you to click that link, fill in step 1, so that we can get in touch with you next week and get you to check your data and check that we have permission to email you. I want to see what we can do if we all do it together. And if you get stuck, There's lots of people in this room who can help. So ask your neighbour next to you, or you can grab a member of the CMTA team before you leave. I think, how are we doing for time? World of the clock. Hang on. I'm going to let Gilles come up and do closing remarks so we don't finish late. So let Gilles speak. Don't all be looking at your phones because he's really awesome. And then have a go at completing your Step 1 profile. But I just wanted to lastly say a massive thank you. We cannot accelerate CMT research without you. These trials are not possible without you. So thank you to everyone who's registered for Patients as Partners in Research so far, and those of you who are going to go on and check their data and fill in the new survey questions. And lastly, thank you for your continued support and participation and fundraising. STAR is powered by you, and because of you, CMTA is the largest global philanthropic funder of CMT research, and we're grateful every single day for your support.